Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Daily Dose of Good News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could be with us. It is Monday, January the 5th. And as we go throughout this week, you guys are going to be hearing some of the great conversations that I had on Wednesday, October the 29th, 2025, when I broke the Guinness World Record for most TV interviews in 12 hours. We're actually going to be wrapping up that portion of our show during this month of January. And we're kicking off today with fitness trainer Antonio Knight. I met him for the very first time there in Pearl, Mississippi when we broke the record. You're going to hear him talk about his own journey of not being able to pour into others, but what keeps him inspired as well. Enjoy this episode with fitness trainer Antonio Knight. All right. So, Antonio, again, I'm just discovering you, but again, Facebook gives us a lot of information. Even some I can share here. So I'm excited about that. So when did you realize that you had the ability to speak life into others? So you do that not only as a coach, but also through your own podcast too.
Yeah. I'm from Monroe, Louisiana, and I had a lady to look me up when I was in the 7th grade, man. And I often wonder, like, why did she choose me? But in the 7th grade, they taught me about mentoring and, helping people to come up with me in middle school.
Right.
And, me as a youngster, I'm like, man, nobody want to come talk to me, 7th grader, But the more they came, the more I taught and the more I helped people, it just followed me from middle school. I thought once I made it to college that it would be over, but it got bigger then, even in college. So it was probably like middle school.
Wow, love that. And it just really shows we never know what age we can make a difference in the lives of others. Helping others to make a transformation in their lives is amazing. What helped you to embrace that ability in your work? Because a lot of times we don't always embrace the gifts that we have, but what helped you to be able to do that?
My mom had 6 strokes. 6 strokes. My dad had a massive heart attack.
Wow.
For me, I coached college football for 15 years. So I've always been into, fitness and trying to stay ahead of the posse, you know what I mean? And I know once you know your history, you know where you're going. So I knew my family's history, cholesterol, hypertension and, diabetes and stuff like that. So I wanted to be the one to break the mold. So I stayed focused, stayed locked into, fitness and who I was. And anytime you want to do change, don't try to start somewhere, start with yourself. And when you're serious about it, people around you see you serious about it. And then, the dynamics around you start changing. So, know my family history. So that's what got me going and staying locked into it.
So what I hear from you, man, is really the importance of your why.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Being able to have a strong why. Yeah. So a lot of the work that you do focuses on mindset. I noticed that even on your Facebook page, Antonio. Do you find that is where the hardest work takes place?
Oh man, most importantly, because if you can change the mind, you can change the body. Whatever the mind, think about, however it goes, whether it's positive or negative. If the mind is solid, then the body gonna do whatever you tell it to do. So it starts in the mind. A solid mindset, you can conquer anything.
That's so true. I totally agree with that. You have been amplifying your voice in other ways as well. So as I mentioned, one of the things I found was the podcast. How did the podcast start?
I have a client who's a retired therapist.
Okay.
And she would come in for her session and we'll be talking and, shout out to LaShonda Kidd. She just had a birthday yesterday and we give her big props. We get that free therapy time, when she come in there. And we would have conversations with other clients being in there. And it was probably like 2 years going. And there'd be different conversations and stuff like that. And then my other clients were like, man, y'all need to start a podcast. But we didn't want to do a regular podcast where you're sitting down behind a microphone and stuff like that. So we started a live audience podcast. And, it's a transparent platform where we have real people with real issues. And we have a therapist who's there, which is her. And, after 2 years, we said, man, we got to do something with it. We need each other. Me being a coach, I feel like I needed a therapist, and her being a therapist felt like she needed a coach. So we just put it together. We started Life Talk, and we talk about real life issues.
Wow. Love that. And of course, our audience, if you're not following him on Facebook, especially, we do have it tagged on our Facebook page. So you can make sure to be able to find that. Your 5th question, Antonio, is this. Do you think the work that you do has helped you to stay accountable to yourself in life?
Oh, definitely. Most definitely, man. How can you teach somebody else if you can't, follow what you're telling other people? I don't write no meal plans. I don't tell my clients to do no workouts that I haven't done myself before I give it to them. Because, I want to be accountable but at the same time, I want to lead by example. I want to be the example that I want to see. So of course they keep me accountable by me, you know, I might be in the grocery store or something. I think about something, you know, I might have a client somewhere. So me telling them, it keep me accountable, you know, when I'm out ordering food, you know, at a restaurant or something. So yeah, definitely the work I do, it keeps me accountable.
Love that. So your bonus question, Antonio, is this. What are your plans when it comes to taking your coaching and your self-improvement work into the new year?
Oh man, going into the new year, it's funny you asked that question. I have a partner of mine that we share a building. He's a trainer as well, but I'm opening up my own facility starting in December. And you know, just doing that, and then you know, we'll be able to do therapy sessions in there. You training and therapy go hand in hand. Of course, mental illness is real for those who don't know. You know, mental illness is real.
That's right.
And with that, you know, I want to get in the fight to push to help people, you know, get serious about working out, get serious about, you know, recognizing, you know, hey, it's okay to not be okay, you know, but at the same time, for me, a lot of people don't understand exercise is probably the number one thing as an antidepressant. You see what I mean? Because you get in there, you get the grinding and you working out, you forget about what you're depressed about because you want some relief. You know, so, you know, just helping people to understand the importance of exercise and being your best self.
Love that.
That's my push for the next year.
Again, everyone, Antonio Knight, let's give him a hand. Antonio, thank you so much for being part of that big day. As you heard him say, that was happening at the end of 2025. So nothing but the best to you, Antonio, as you move into this new year. We thank all of you for being with us for another great episode of Daily Dose of Good News. Until next time, I'm Cyrus Webb saying thanks so much for being with us. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.